tell you, 88 miles per hour!
Are you okay?
Good evening, Talkin' Trashers. Great Scots! Welcome to 8 of Talkin' Trash. My name is Jim, and I'm a very grateful alcoholic.
Hi,
We have a
Jim.
great episode booked tonight on tap for you. It's going to be a roller coaster ride, so we got a great guest. We got Nicky D, and we got a couple of surprises. And through these past 88 episodes, we've seen all sorts of stories of defeat, triumph, redemption.
Whatever.
Yeah, thank you, Tim. He wrote the script for me.
I did.
We're here to spread the word that we can change the recovery landscape together. We tried and it didn't work. We need everybody on board, supporting one another to make this recovery thing work. It's just recovery is just and addiction. Yeah, Manny says it's just an effing word.
Yep.
Great thing about it, we're non-denominational. We're not talking about religion. We're talking about how we view recovery on the show. We're not NA, we're not AA. I'm an AA, but great thing, we're not Bible thumpers. Although we support these things, there's no wrong way to recover, to letting this disease take you. We stress mental health, MAT. We count clean days. Recovery time, clean time is going to be blast tonight. We're going to have a good time. Yep. We experience strength and hope.
Whoops, sorry.
No one's putting an eye on an act here, well, besides my script, which Tim gave me a couple hours ago. We're unfiltered. We'll find out later on. And we welcome anybody to our family, as the disease does not discriminate. Okay, hey, what's up, Serenity Treatment, Rouge, or Red Stick for the Right Time Group? Awesome. We'd like to welcome New Hope Addiction Recovery and the RAC Bracebridge Hall into our fold tonight. Last group of the day. Yeah, there we go. So let's make it a good one. This is unconventional. It's a brand new way to share the message in a different way. Inpatient rehabs that are used to be doing. There is going to be a smoke break, right? So just relax. Hey there, rehabbers. We got some great news for you. We're going to just share how we develop our early recovery. So listen up. This could be crucial information to help you begin that bumpy road that's going to smooth out to recovery. We've all been there. We've all sat in those chairs, but we've taken a different approach, all of us. But to share a common theme on this show, that it's lasting recovery, but it's one day at a time. Our recovery rented, and that our rent is due daily, and I always say that. So we're going to try to give back what was given so freely to us. And as a team here at Talkin' Trash, we agreed on some tips and tricks in our early recovery that have changed and developed into new habits through trial and error. We can save you some of that frustration, so dial it in. So don't change that bat channel, kids. It's a real privilege, especially for myself as being the newbie on the block, to be part of your recovery and recognize what responsibility that we have to each other, and especially you out there, our viewers, special to us. We are all equals, and we need you as much as you need us. We have some sad news tonight, and I'm going to throw it back to Tim. Thank you, guys, and buckle up. We're going to have a great...
Thanks, Jimmy. Appreciate that. The addiction landscape, the world, it comes with the territory. I'm saying a lot because I'm nervous. I don't like this. A clean timer of ours overdosed at the last week. His name's Frank Kenny. He was with us for 200 days. We have a tribute to him. just crank up your audio system here and dial it in. And we may have problems with the Facebook. I'm looking at it now. So, but yeah, Frank Kenny. Let's take a minute. At this time, please remove your hats and join us in a moment of silence, followed by a tribute honoring Frank Kenny, one of our fallen friends this disease took from us.
When you walk through a storm, hold your head up high, and don't be afraid of the dark. At the end of a storm, there's a golden sky and the sweet silver song of a lark. Walk on through the wind, walk on through the rain, though your dreams be tossed and blow. Walk on with hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone, and you'll never walk alone.
You're never alone when you're a part of our family. Our hearts and prayers go out to the Kenny family as they mourn the loss of one of their own. In addiction, these things unfortunately come with the territory. We grieve Frank's passing, acknowledge its injustice, and know Frank fought a good fight. God, we ask that you receive our friend into your glory. We'll see Frank again, and we take solace in that. We at Talkin Trash and the Kenny family thank you for your time, your thoughts, and your prayers. So there you have it. Happens, it sucks. It fucking sucks. I fixed Facebook, and that should be working now. So listen, here's the problem with this my friend Frank. He was a known addict. He was in recovery, clean, doing the right things, and he overdosed at the wrong place. If he overdosed at home, they would have been fine. He was somewhere else, I won't get into details, where they didn't have Narcan. All right, so this is an avoidable death. This is a relapse part of recovery kind of thing. Would he have figured it out after this? Would he have gotten burnt by touching the stove? So let me just, real quick, we're 10 minutes in here and everything's driving me nuts, but this is Narcan. It is a nasal spray. It's naloxone hydrochloride. The boxes come with 2. This is my advice. Get 2 boxes, because it took 4 to save my life. Took 3 on somebody I did, 2 on somebody else I did. So like Narcan is available anywhere. You can get it anywhere. So I guess you have to, I don't know if you have to pay. I'm pretty sure you have to pay for it at some places. If you can't afford it, if you need Narcan, just send me an email. I'll get you Narcan. We work with Elizabeth. She has Narcan. But there's national things out there for Narcan. Naloxoneforall.com. It's the same as nextdistro.org. They'll get you Narcan if you can't afford it. Flag down the local EMT guys when they're having coffee, asking for some Narcan. You save them a trip, So like, this is an avoidable thing, and it pisses. it's so frustrating because it's just it doesn't have to happen. Every household, unfortunately, these days should have Narcan. Fentanyl. Give you a little idea. Fentanyl is measured in micrograms, like Percocet is milligrams. Fentanyl is so granular that it's measured in micrograms. So think about, Hernando fucking cutting up your bags of heroin, and he slips a little more micrograms into a bag. Dunzo. No Narcan's going to pull you out of that. And there's some Narcan that won't work on some of this fentanyl. And a lot of this fentanyl has xylazine in it, whatever the fuck that is, some animal tranquilizer. So, I mean, stop doing drugs. I've heard that, but, we're here to just kind of help you get there. I don't know. Narcan is so important. Please get some Narcan. So that was a solemn way to start the show. That was a responsibility. So we're just going to keep it light. We have Nicky D in the house tonight. He's an OG of our show. We love him. He's a good time. And, we're just going to kind of go around, tell some stories, have a few laughs in Frank's honor, because, if you're laughing, you're not using. I can tell you that much. So, laughter is part of recovery, way more than relapse is part of recovery. So we're going to go around the horn here and just check in with it. Kaisa, round and round, how are you?
Hi, everybody. How are you? I'm
Good.
doing well, thank you.
Hey.
Hey.
Yeah, life is okay. It's pretty good. Yesterday, I had a full day of lots of meetings and speaker meetings, and then a concert afterwards, and got to go hang out with my sober sisters.
Living it up.
And it's awesome. The fact that I can go and stay out till 11:30, which is late, and drive myself home and not be under the influence and crash into people like I did in the past. Remember the drive home, get home safe, and wake up without a hangover, and get up and walk a 10K at 5:30 in the morning.
Stop showing
It's
off.
awesome.
Oh,
A 10K is only 6 miles for you people that are keeping track at home.
6.20.
I'm sorry.
Exactly.
I didn't realize. So,
Not too far.
yeah, I know. That's what I said. I'm like, you walk 10 miles? She's like, don't be an idiot, Tim. I'm like, all right, that's cool. So let's keep going around the horn here. Let's see what's going on with William Douglas. William made a nice appearance on my Fight Bar War yesterday. Way to go, Willie.
Hey, what's up? Hey, how are y'all?
Good. You're echoing. Let me fucking deal with that too.
I know. I keep hearing an echo.
Stop. I can't take it. How about now? Any better?
Yes.
I think it's better.
So, Will, you opened
Maybe
up.
not.
You did a great job. No, it sounds better to me. You did a great job. 88 miles an hour. You did a great job on on Manny's show last night. You told us about your family. I think you have another story for us about family during story time.
Definitely.
It's my favorite slate that I made. It's called Family Affair. It's going to be a Will Douglas special. Back to the Future. Back to the Future. Get it? You did a great job yesterday. What was that like for you?
It was different. It was fun. It's always upbeat. You don't know what's going to happen. So, I mean, being a upper person, that's kind of how I live my life, I mean, you never know which way you're going to go. You just go with it, and see how it ends up.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. You just I got a lot of feedback. Oh, he's more than just a giggler in the background. I mean, that's important. It's very important. It brings a lot to the show. But a lot of people saw a side of you they liked, and you seem to be opened up. So whatever we're doing wrong on here that's keeping you from opening up, we'll have to figure that out because you jumped on his show.
We're not doing nothing wrong.
Look at me. So no, you're a staple in our organization. We love you.
Appreciate that.
Great job yesterday.
Thank
Let's
you.
see what's up with Jim Canadian Libel. Hi, Jim.
I'm doing well. Good to see you. Yeah, Willie, you did a great job. I was
Appreciate it.
I was listening to us coming back from Melville last night, and I'm like, holy crap! He was like, cut the string already. No, it's wild, man. But I just want to throw kudos out to Tim for that great tribute to Frank Kenny. That he showed it. He gave us a quick preview earlier this week, and it really hit home for me. I lost my wife to alcoholism 11 years ago, and it just took me back to that point in time. And it's I can't say, well, I know exactly how they feel. No, I know how I felt at that time, and my heart and my thought and prayers go out to the Kenny family because it's a difficult time. You have all these unanswered questions, But besides that, got back late yesterday, and my daughter called. She did an audition for Cats, and she's a dancer, and she was all pumped. And every conversation now ends with "Dad, I love you so much," and that never used to happen before. So
Yeah, I know.
thank you, recovery.
Well, Jim, thank you for sharing that because when you shared that to me, it made me feel like I felt that with you. Like I didn't sympathize, but I empathized. No, I didn't empathize, but I sympathized with you when you said that it made a difference and it brought you back. And like that's it's my privilege that I get to do things like that. Making that video was the least fun I've ever had editing. I can tell you that much. But
Well,
you
and
know
for our
what?
viewers out there, it's not just fentanyl or meth or cocaine. It's
No.
alcoholism. Your addiction
Yeah.
will take you if not kept in check. So yeah, that really that was a real. I really appreciate that. So thank you, Tim.
Well, it's cool because I consider you part of our family now. So like that pain that you
Oh,
have, you lost your wife. I lost your wife too. I didn't get the privilege of meeting her. So like, we're family. It's we're blessed to have this. So let's bring on this guy. He's got a big beard. He thinks he's cool. His name is
shut up.
Nicky D.
How you
Happen.
doing?
What's going on, buddy boy?
Hey, nothing, just chilling, just hanging out in Florida. I don't even know what day it is anymore, to be honest. It's
I
all the
was,
same.
yeah.
But I'm down here in my mother's room at the house. But it's good, man. Everything's good. I can't complain. I mean, beautiful tribute. It's try not to get emotional when you hear things like that, even though I haven't, I never knew him or anything like
Yeah,
that.
that's
But
yeah.
it's another loss, so it's never a good sign. It just shows that, even though we do have a good time on this show, it shows the seriousness of what we go through, you
Yep.
know. But
Yep.
but other than that, man, I'm living the dream, brother. I can't complain. Timothy.
I know. I'm trying to fix this goddamn thing. Hold on.
Oh.
How about
We
now?
are so organized here.
What a disaster. It's StreamYard. I pay for this fucking service. Anyway, maybe I'll turn my mic down. Maybe I'm too hot. So anyway,
Oh yeah.
Nick was part of our show when it
William.
started
Yay.
back in March or February or whatever last year, and we went separate ways, unfortunately. But we're gonna bring him back in the fold a little bit here. He's a character. Holy shit, is he a character? So we're happy to have Will here. We're happy to have Jim here, Kaisa, and Nicky D. It just feels fitting to have you back in the fold. Does everybody else hear the echo, or is it just me?
I hear
Yeah,
it.
it's
I hear it.
there. I'm just
Play. Yeah.
I'm tuning it out.
Yeah.
hmm
You guys talk amongst yourself. I'm gonna do stuff.
You may take these headphones off and try to see that. Oh, never mind.
Go ahead.
Well,
So tell Jim, go ahead. Tell one of your stories.
one of my stories? Well,
Yeah.
actually, okay. So it's funny because my kids were asking me like, we have a very like now my daughters are asking me about like when I was growing up and stuff. Took me back to how I really look back how my addictive personality started at like 2 years old. I was
Oh, wow.
yeah, well, okay, so we're at my mom's cousin's beach, and everybody's outside playing cards or whatever. And I, being this mischievous little shit that I was, I scurried and looked through my mom's purse, and I found some chocolate. So I ate the whole freaking bar. Great, it wasn't chocolate. X-Lax. So they rushed me to this little town, and they had to use a hand pump my stomach. So to this day, if I see a doctor or anybody with a white coat on my desk, I just crawl the fucking roof. It's just like ah. So that's where my addictive personality really got a kickstart. It just kept on going from there. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, that was a gooder. 2 years old. So thank God she didn't have any meth in her purse. No, didn't do. Next. Kaisa, tell us a little story.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So,
Did everybody hear me? I'm back. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Tim.
Yeah.
Hi
Yay,
everybody.
Hey.
Tim.
No echo. Jim, what was the title of that story? Oh my God, it's fucking
That
work.
was just one of my that was my journal one. Okay, go ahead. Keep going.
Gotcha. Okay.
We took the
Who's
house.
next?
Kaiser.
Okay.
Kaisa.
I'm next. Hi. I'm
Which one
Kaisa.
is it?
Golly.
Hi.
Okay. So I know I gave you a nice little list of names, and now I can't remember which one's what.
Here, I'll roll through them.
Okay.
Oh,
That
there's
one's
baptism.
yours.
Yep.
Okay. I'll do that one.
Okay.
Howdy, neighbor. All right. So one night before I got sober, I came home from a bar and yeah, hammered down, of course. And I live on a cul-de-sac, and I had some new neighbors that were having a party. Well, they all they all park like this down the cul-de-sac. So I didn't have much room to get to my driveway, but I had enough room. So I decided that since they were new, I needed to tell them about themselves and be considerate of others and don't park there. Well, I was lit up like a Christmas tree.
Checks
And
out.
I go and I run over there and I knock on the door and he opens the door and I'm like, howdy, neighbor. Guess what you're not going to do again, okay? And so I tell him about, look at how you do this and you're blocking my way to get in and out and all this stuff. And he looks at me and he said, you want some fajitas? And I'm like, and I look over
Fuck
and they have this huge spread of Mexican food. I'm like, Jesus criminy. So I go over there and I take two plates, because my mom was here and I'm like, well, I'll just take two, right? And he's like, sure, take as much as you want. And I freaking stacked so many fajitas and tamales and you name it on these plates. And then I'm like, oh, thank you. And I walked home, left my truck in the street. My other neighbor comes over and she's like, Miss Kaisa, would you like me to pull your truck in the driveway? I'm like, sure, okay. Okay, so I come in, chow down, and then so eventually I get sober and I'm thinking, okay, I need to make a living amends to my neighbors. And I have, and they're wonderful people and they're very kind and they're amazing. And I just love them. And I'm really glad that on a daily basis, I can be a much better person than I was back then. So that's my howdy neighbor story.
Were the fajitas good?
Oh my God, yes.
All right, good.
Nom, nom, nom.
All right,
Yeah.
good.
Chicken, beef, and pork.
Oh, you can't go wrong.
Yeah.
All right. I guess I'll go next.
Okay.
I'm not exactly sure. Like when I was told about stories, of course, I'm like thinking about all these like scenarios with drugs and whatnot. But I think that my addiction back when I was younger, I used to love to steal. Uh,
Mhm.
so I used to have I was a pretty
Naughty Nicky.
yeah. Well, I wasn't always this angel that's here now, but
Oh yeah. Don't choke on your
I
halo.
so I'm gonna go with like the neighbor theme. So I remember it was Halloween and me and this kid Dave were walking trick or treating with our pillow sacks with the candy. We had to be like 13, 12 maybe. So we're walking around and I remember somebody had like a bunch of soda in the front of their one garage. So like everybody's over here. So like I ran to the garage and I put 2 6-packs of Sprite in my bag, right? And then we keep going on. And like 5 minutes later, I totally forget that I put the soda cans in there. So this kid hits me with his bag of candy. And it's my buddy Dave. And I didn't know. So I turn around and I go to whip him in the head. And I forgot. I knocked the dude out. He just went flying. I knocked him out. And I'm like, they're like, oh my God, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh shit, I forgot I got 2 6-packs of Sprite in there. Oh, it was not good. I haven't thought about that story in like 10 years.
Nice. I mean,
It's
We
Tim
can't
talking
hear
again.
Tim again.
Yeah, can you?
I don't know.
Okay.
Will, go ahead.
Well, you go
All
ahead.
right.
Yep,
We'll
your
figure
turn,
it
All
out.
Will.
right. So, actually, kind of deal with leaving Las Vegas, but the first one is the first time I lived in Vegas. I went out there and I was working, doing everything I was supposed to. My dad lived out there, my brothers lived out there, and but I ended up like I mean I had a good job on the strip as a server. Well, that lasted for so long until I started getting high all the time. Well, of course, I went MIA, out there and hanging out and partying all the time. And my mom was like, I did not know that she was about to get on an airplane to come out there to get my ass to bring me back to Florida. Well, I decided on my own. I'm like, hey, I guess I'm ready to go. Go back to Florida. And I've been out there for like a year. So I had a friend that was going to ride with me back from Las Vegas, driving back to Florida. Yeah, back to Florida. And so my dad gave me money, his credit card, and everything. And we stopped and like got food for the car, whatever. And I just had this feeling that we would not make it to Florida. You know what I'm saying? Well, we started driving. First thing I had to do was, we bought like a shitload of dope, to take with us. So we got high, and so we're driving, and I get into Arizona, and like I don't know if you've driven through Arizona, but I run out of gas. And at an exit, well, the exit you can go up the exit, and there's nothing there. There's like there's a gated fence on one side with like something way down the road, but there's nothing there. Like at that overpass bridge, it's just a road to get up to where that is, and you had no cell phone service or anything. And I was right there near the ramp, so no one could really see us. I was literally stuck there with my friend for about 2.5, 3 days before we were finally able to get. We were in the car, eating, sleeping, getting high, waiting for somebody to find us. Finally, someone like came and gave us gas, and of course, my battery was dead because it was freezing. And finally, we were able to make it to the gas station, and then I called my mom, and so got a hotel room. But I was literally stuck in Arizona for about 4 days, thinking I was never getting out. And I never did make it to Florida. Turned around, went back to Vegas. But yeah, that's my story. No, we can't hear you, Tim. He said, keep it rolling.
Keep rolling. Okay.
Keep it rolling. All right. Well, somebody bring up a topic. What do you got?
Who's
What's on
next?
your mind?
Are we doing
Jim.
stories or? Oh, now we can't hear Jim.
Jim, you're muted.
Oh my God.
No, now I'm unmuted. Okay, Tim, can I go?
Yeah, go ahead.
We are so organized. Okay, this is my baptism story. So my daughter, who's now 29, when she was born, we got English. My wife's parents are from England, so they came about a month later. And my father-in-law is like this typical Basil Fawlty type guy, just hilarious as hell. And so there was a pub just down my printing shop, and I would be a regular. But my father-in-law, Phil, became like what the hell was his name? The guy from Cheers. What the hell was his name when he walked in all the time?
Cliff?
Anyway.
Norm.
So he was the norm. Every time Phil walked in, the whole bar would turn around and go, Phil! And I'm like, Jesus Christ, I've been coming here for 20 years. So anyway, long story short, we had a baptismal party at our house, and not to our knowledge, we were picking up a keg, go figure, to this baptism. And we didn't know that the bishop supper. So my father-in-law and I were getting just pissed. And I'm driving home like a pirate, one hand down this icy streets. And we get home, and this was like 112 pint keg. Like, it was heavy. So we both got it slippery than hell, and we both fall. The keg goes up in the air, and we both slide under the car. And the front door opens, and there's the bishop, my mother, my mother-in-law, my wife, my mother, my dad, and it's like, and he looks at me and goes, I think we're in a bit of a jam, lad. And I'm like, oh, no shit. Yeah, so, and it just continued, but we finished the entire keg. Mostly because the bishop, he drank it all. I didn't have any. Shit. Yeah.
Can anybody hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we can hear back. Woo!
Thank God.
What a fucking disaster. Hey, it's
All the
still
recovery
echoing.
centers have changed channels. They're watching Bewitched now.
So here, I have a theory. Hold on.
You may turn off my headphones. I bet you won't hear the echo.
Nope. Do we hear an echo now, ladies and gentlemen?
No.
We don't hear an echo, do we?
No.
So it's all your fault.
It's because Jim is muted. Jim's fucking goddamn Bluetooth head. Take those things out. Take them out. That's our echo. It took me.
No.
I went through. I almost brought out the Xboxes. There's an echo. Let me take care of that.
That's even,
Jim's muted. There goes the echo. So this has been going on for about 10 episodes. My troubleshooting should have started with. Well, he's back. My troubleshooting should have started with Jim. Yeah, I'm muting you because. Watch, ready? Something with Canada.
Now I
Hey,
can hear
Jim.
that.
Yeah, right, and we can all hear an echo too.
Well, see, this what I take out of this, I relate this to addiction, right? There's a problem, right?
Let's
And we
fix
have
it.
to get through this.
Mm-hmm.
So the solution is don't get high, don't use, fix the problem, and
Right,
everything is better.
That's a great point, Nick. Let's
Absolutely.
talk a little bit, see if we
It's
still have an
seen as a
echo.
learning experience.
Better. Yep, there it is. It was you. I should have just started with you. Anyway, Facebook is down. That's back up. Users we're starting to get some traffic. All right, so let's. I don't know where we're at. What the hell's going on?
We
Well,
told
Chris
our
is up next.
stories.
telling stories. All right, I got a story.
Okay.
This is my story.
Run it.
It is called The Guilty Hero. So little
there you
Timmy
go.
was delivering his packages one day in Lakewood, New Jersey, and I do a couple stops. I go down the road, and I see in my rearview mirror that there is just smoke billowing from this house down behind me. So I'm like, my hero instinct kicks in. You know what I mean? Because that's ingrained in me. I'm a hero. So do I sound good? I don't even know. Headsets. Do you hear me? Okay.
yeah, you're fine.
Yeah.
So I hear this. So I grab my fire extinguisher and I run down there, and I try to put the blaze out. It's like the mulch in front of the house, and it's not doing anything. And this is a Hasidic Jewish community, so the crowd starts to, like they're all watching me run around. I go around the back of the house. I get a hose that's just not long enough. It's just about 10 feet short, right? So I stick my hand in it. Yeah, right. Tell me about it. So I stick I stick my thumb in it to make.
That's what she said.
To make it, squirt. And
You are just walking into this.
so I'm trying to put out my thumb is bleeding. I've cut all the way down to my bone with the ring of this fucking hose, and I get the fire down to where like I can see the front of the house now, and I go in and there's a little kid standing there in diapers. He goes, "Where's my mom?" I'm like, "I don't know. Where's your mom?" So I grab the kid. The fire's getting bad again, and I'm like, "Is there anybody else in here?" He's like, "My brother and sister." I'm like, "Oh my god, where are they?" They're like upstairs. It's an infant, a 3-year-old, and he's like a 5-year-old. So I got all 3 of them in my arms. I run out the front door. All the hairs burn off my arms. And all these Jews are watching me, just like it's entertainment while I save these 3 kids' lives. I walk out the front door. I put the kids down. My shoes are melted. My arm hair is gone. My eyebrows are singed. I'm burnt. I'm cut. I'm bleeding. And so the fire department holds me there. They want to talk to me about what's going on. And I'm sitting there. There's literally 100 Jewish people just standing around, and I'm like, where were the parents when this was all happening? That's the thing. Anyway, I won't get into that. So I get a bottle of Manischewitz and $20.
Good deal.
They hold me for an hour. I call my boss. I'm like, listen, I just put out a fire and saved a bunch of kids from a house. He's like, how many stops you got left? Okay, yeah, I got about 130. He's like, all right, you have to get going here. I'm like, okay, do you give a shit that I did this? So it was great. Tim's the best, right? He's made the paper, dude saved lives. What a great guy. Here's the thing, and I'm just going to be honest about this. I think I started that fire. So like, there's
The evidence.
there's no reason their mulch should have caught on fire, right? And I smoked 10 packs a day while I was delivering, and I drove past that house, and I'm pretty sure I flicked a cigarette out, hit their mulch, and set their house on fire. So I just did my duty, but yeah, I'm an asshole. Who's next? I'm just gonna pick one. No, Arizona rearranged. Who's this?
That's me.
Go on.
Okay, so rearranged. Yep. So one night I was home and I had done my usual drinking and whatever else, and somebody had given me an Ambien to help me sleep. I had a problem. I've had a problem sleeping for years and years and years. So anyway, I wake up in the morning and I walk out into the living room and I'm like, what in the hell happened here? Well, my pool furniture was inside the house. My furniture, except for the couch, because I couldn't get it out the door by myself, is what I'm thinking, is outside. Yep. I have burns. I have pan burns on my arm because I must have sleepwalked, made myself something to eat, and then I rearranged the furniture. I took the garden furniture, brought it inside, and put the inside furniture outside. And there was also a pile of dirt in the middle of the kitchen floor. So I think I was going to plant something there. And then eventually I made it back to my bed, and I have absolutely no recollection at all.
Kaisa, how many Ambien did you take?
I took one, but I would also have been. Yeah, I mean, my friend only gave me one, but I had also been drinking, excessively, and then taking other things, which I couldn't tell you what it was, but I promise I took something else, and then the Ambien on top of that.
That reminds me of a time I was on Xanax, and I'm shopping at ShopRite, and I'm with my friend who's not messed up, and I remember flashes of him laughing, and I'm like laughing, and we're like doing stuff, and I'm checking out. And they're like, that's $475.98. And I'm like, whoa, okay, I'm sober for a second here. Why is it $400? I give a credit card, go back to my apartment. I wake up the next day. There's plants. All my light bulbs have been changed to party bulbs. They're all green and blue. And I don't know. It's just that was my Xanax story. So yeah, very similar. I get that. Will, what's your family affair?
All right, so another story of leaving Las Vegas. So when my dad decided he was moving back here to Georgia, and I was living with him at the time too. So we decided to get a pod and pack up the pod, and we were going to take our time driving back across country. And of course, so I ran to our dude, and we got like an ounce of weed, and then I went over to the head shop and got a WD-40 can. We could unscrew the bottom up,
Yeah.
And we put like half of it in there, and we leave, like I have my bowl and whatever on my side of the car. He has his, We stopped in Texas, where like on 10, because there's supposed to be like a really bad storm up in Oklahoma. And I remember you could see Juarez from like where we're eating at Cracker Barrel. So we leave there, and like nice and high, driving, whatever. We're both hitting the pipe. And my dad was talking to me, telling me a story about how when he was the only time he'd ever been searched by a search dog. Well, of course, he had to say that, So we're going down 10, and then all of a sudden, my dad's like, "What's that?" Can't be a way station. Maybe a way. No, that ain't a way station. He's like, well, "What do we do?" I'm like, "Here's your fucking pipe." You know what I mean? There's nothing you can do. We pull up, and then like before we could even stop, the border patrol guy told us to go over there and park, So we get out of the car, and so my dad's like he's a total stoner. Like he's like a little, he go to the Army Navy surplus store and get those little matchstick like containers, where like he waterproof, and he'd keep weed in there. I mean, like everywhere. Every time the would go through the car, he would find like a little bit more. And finally, he was like, "If I find weed one more time, I'm about to strip the whole entire car." So anyhow, they didn't find the WD-40 can that said $14.99 on it that had a half ounce in there, but they found the rest of it. But they put us in a holding cell in the middle of the highway for 4 hours so we could wait on the state patrol to come. And all they did was give him a paraphernalia ticket, but still, we both got handcuffed and fingerprinted. And I was on first offender's probation at the time, so my dad's like, "Oh, it's all mine," But we both had to sit in the middle cell. No one knew where we. Phones were turned off, and we're driving back. So it's my dad and I pretty much. We got locked up together, but we didn't. Like I don't know how you'd consider that, but it was in the middle of the highway. We were in a cell with handcuffs, so that's my family affair.
Of a story. I'm not gonna get all into it, but it's part of the end of the beginning for me. Divorcing my wife and all kinds of shit, girlfriend and whatnot. I'm up on 287 up north. Nick, you know where I'm at.
Oh yeah.
I I get back together with my wife. My girlfriend's like out of her mind. She doesn't get it. So I go up there after work to see the girl, to break up with her properly, right? So I get up there and I give her the respect that I thought she was due. And I'm eating a turkey sandwich because this episode's off the rails. So I get up there and I take a few Viagra, but never got to it.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, this is my life. I'm a disaster. So as I'm driving home, I'm driving our car, our envoy or whatever, and I go to get something out of the glove compartment, and out falls all these fireball shooters. Now those are my wife's and her boyfriend. It was a fireball fucking thing, whatever. So like that was the previous 6 months. All these shooters come out. I'm like, all right, well, I'm cool. I can hit a couple shooters. I took 2 of them, and apparently, Viagra is a vasoconstrictor.
Mhm.
So like I checked out. Like all I remember is weaving in and out of traffic on 287 up in Plainfield, New Jersey, like 80 miles an hour. And I'm not proud of this. Like I could have killed 10 people that night. Weaving in and out of traffic, just everything's cool. Crash into the guardrail. And it was like that was normal. That's what was going to happen. I was going to hit the guardrail. I'm fine, everybody. I'm out of the car. I'm yelling for my wife. It's just me cheating on her, And I'm like, man, where you at? I'm like, my wife. They're like, no, buddy, you're the only one. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna drive home. The wheels are like out like this. The car is not even movable. I'm out of my goddamn mind, right? So here's my point: is what Will said. They take me to the hospital. First, I realized that I'm handcuffed to a hospital bed, and I'm looking at my phone, and like my wife is coming, and my ex-girlfriend's coming. It's not going to end. Right? So I tell the cops, I'm like, you guys, don't worry about me. You're about to have a problem out there. And they caught it just at the last second. But here is the crazy part of the story. The state police come. They take my blood about 8 o'clock at night. The girl fumbles with it and drops it on the floor, and the vial breaks, right? They next take they're waiting for their test kit. They next take my blood at 4:30 in the morning, and I'm a .06 at that point. So I didn't get a DUI for that, believe it or not.
Great job out of you, Tim.
I know you got to, you got to be a good person in this
Great
life
job.
For things to go great. So yeah, that was the end of the beginning for me. Nick, you got anything fucking ridiculous? I'm sure you do. Check.
I mean, there's 2 pretty solid ones that come to mind. I'm gonna go with one where I thought it was a good idea to chest bump a police officer while drinking. Well, at the time it felt like a great idea. My buddy Martin, he was always the DD, and he was a little bit slower. So like we always got pulled over, and every single time it was just town cops always trying to be, just show us who they are, regular shit, you know what I mean? Plus, I'm getting high all the time and drinking, so I hate the cops, So that's just how it went. So he would always get pulled out, and it would always be by, like, the same guys, right? So this guy, it's funny because he actually has the same last name as me, so I tried to convince him we're cousins somehow, and then it didn't work. So, like, I start going nuts on him, right? And he comes at me, and I just give him a nice little chest bump, and he goes flying. So I'm like, oh, fuck, I just fucked up. So I start walking, and he's like, yeah, you better walk. And I said, you know what, fuck you. So there's construction cones. So I start throwing construction cones into the road. And I live behind the building where we're, like, parked out. So I'm like, I'm on the phone with my mother, and I'm like, hey, Ma, listen, I need you to call a lawyer. And she goes, why? I'm like, he's running pretty fast, but I'm getting arrested as we speak. And he's like, hands behind your back, blah, blah, blah. So I go, and we're literally right in front of the police station, too. So it's like all in the same parking lot. And then he puts me in the holding cell. And it just so magically happened that, like, my stomach started to bother me. And I started getting nauseous. So I had a mixed amount of movements in the holding cell throughout the night. So he started he started talking like all this shit, and I felt bad. I'm like, I don't want to take a shit and then or throw up. And I'm like, you know what? Screw this guy. I threw up all over the cell, all shit all over into the
You are
bathroom.
disgusting.
And it was a bad point in my life at that very moment, you know.
Oh, really?
I'm like, yeah, I'm like, dude, I was on the phone with my mom. You couldn't wait a minute, like at least let you know. Said that's
Unreal.
so embarrassing, blaming the cop and all that. But it was a small police station, so I know they felt the impact of my decisions
Yes.
throughout the night.
Yep.
So I also got 3 charges of disorderly conduct, but you know that went away after 10 years. No big deal.
You know, no sweat.
Yeah.
What town was this in?
West Caldwell.
Oh yeah. Well, no,
Yeah,
local,
way up north.
Yeah. Yep. Oh my God, that's great.
Yeah.
Like I've only been to jail once, and it was because I had a failure to appear or something, and I don't know. Walked in there, they saw I'm an animal. They gave me Valium. I woke up. They discharged me. I like jail. So
Yeah,
I never really got in trouble. And I narrowly avoided some serious trouble. So let's see, Kaisa, you have this one I want to know about. It is not on my watch.
Okay, so what had happened was I was headed to work one morning, and this was in that last 3-year span where I was drinking all the time, every day, all the time. So I'm on my way to work, and I'd been drinking. You know, obviously I'm drinking. I remember I had to throw up, so I opened the door and I threw up. Still driving. I didn't pull over for that kind of shit. Nonsense.
No,
and I see over here in the distance, I see a man getting out of his car and grabbing a woman and trying to shove her in his car. And I was like, the fuck did I just see? And so there was, you know, the median, there was no way for me to turn around. So I had to go up a little bit, and I just mashed on the gas. And the only thing that came to my mind was not on my watch. And I whipped my truck around, and she had gotten loose of this guy, and she comes running across the median. And I said, oh my God, did you know that guy? And she's like, no. And I'm like, get in. And so she jumps in my car, my truck, and we take off down the road, and he starts chasing us. And she's freaking out, and I'm like, don't worry, honey. I live in Texas. I have a concealed carry. Don't worry, because if I have to use deadly force, I will. I don't want to, but I will. Well, it turns out that she just worked up at the end of the street at some, I don't know, credit collection place. Anyway, so I pulled in, and I opened the door, and I let her out. Now, I should have called the police, but I did not, because I had been drinking. And she, I asked her if she was okay, and she was pretty upset. And she said she'd be all right. And then I made sure she got inside. And I don't know where the guy went, but then I had to turn back around and go back the same way so I could go to work. But I didn't see him then.
Unbelievable. Not that I'm a story one-upper, but you're just triggering things in my mind. Everybody.
Yeah, that's
this whole thing's been like that. Yeah.
So two things that you talked about. One was you don't stop for throwing up. Well, I was driving on the Parkway, and I was snorting Oxycontin up my nose just as much as I get up there, and I'm just like stuffed up. I'm like, I can't get more up there. I'm doing 75 miles an hour, and I sneeze, and I got a handful of Oxycontin snot. So obviously, what do? A, do I wipe it off?
Hell
B,
no.
do I eat it? Or
Eat
C,
it.
do I eat it? I eat it. So
Yeah,
Good for you.
there's that, and then there's a time my kids will tell you about this one. We go to 7-Eleven in Brick Township, New Jersey, and the 7-Eleven right next to it's the Arrowhead, the bar, and I'm just getting cigarettes or something, and they're old enough to sit in the back, lock the car, it's fine. And I get out, and my daughter's like, Dad, and she points over, and some guy is beating on a girl outside the bar. I'm like, all right. I'm on the phone with 911 as I'm walking over there. My kids are watching from the car. I get the guy off her, and he continues to beat the shit out of me for about 15 minutes. So I got the living fuck kicked out of me instead of this girl. So my kids are watching in horror from the back seat while their father's getting the hell beat out of him, and the woman gets away. So anyway, that's it. I don't know. I'm a hero. You know what I mean? I save lives.
You're
Fire.
you're a real life superhero, real life daredevil. You are.
Yeah, I
You know
can't
that?
help it. It's in my blood. You know what I mean? It's funny. Marlon Russo. I gotta stop. But Marlon Russo just jumped on. Friend of mine from UPS, and he ran over somebody on a bicycle after his shift, and I was there. So I run out.
Better make sure he doesn't work for UPS still.
Well, that's the first thing I told him, because all the Jews start coming around taking pictures. I'm like, dude, take your uniform off, right? His windshield spidered. This guy, he hit him he was on a bike. He hit him 50 miles an hour. The guy was like half dead in the middle of the road. I get there right after it, and I stand next to the guy, and I look up, and cars start weaving around me. They're breathing me. You know what I mean? And
They don't stop.
Yeah, but if I wasn't standing there, they're driving over him, right? And my dude that hit him is in shock. He's just like, I don't know what's going on. He's watching right now. He's a good guy. He hit somebody. His little Acura Integra or something spidered the windshield. This dude was drunk on a bicycle. Whatever. It's Lakewood, New Jersey. It's a Tuesday in Lakewood. So yeah, there's another time I just put myself in harm's way. I think I actually just want to die and do it as a hero. Whatever.
Dramatically as possible.
Right, exactly. If I'm going out, I'm going out. I can promise you that. That's going to happen. Jim, this is all full of X-Lax, believe it or not. It says omeprazole, but...
Hey, back in 1965, man, this game looked like a chocolate bar, okay?
Yep, X-Lax. Yes.
Does it say CL on it, like this one? It's X-Lax.
Looks familiar.
Bringing back the memories.
Yeah, here's Marlon Russo. He goes...
you feeling hungry, Jim?
We're waiting.
Marlon's verifying my ridiculous story. So what else we got going on? We're all idiots. We cleared that. We don't know how to run a podcast. We figured that out. What else we got going on? I don't know, do something different. Read Daily Reflections.
The Daily Refraction?
Yeah, we might as well.
Bring it on.
Jim, do you think you can do it without destroying the entire program?
Hey.
That'd be helpful.
All right.
I love it.
All right, kids, here's your Daily Refraction.
All righty.
For March the 2nd, 2025. Do not be discouraged. From Alcoholics Anonymous, page 60. That was a short one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Few experiences are of less value to me than fast sobriety. Too many times, discouragement has been the bonus for unrealistic expectation, not to mention self-pity or fatigue from my wanting to change the world by the weekend. No kidding. Discouragement is a warning sign that I may have wandered across the God line. The secret of fulfilling my potential is the acknowledging my limitations and believing that time is a gift, not a threat. Hope is the key that unlocks the door of discouragement. The program promised me that if I do not pick up that first drink today, I will always have hope. Having come to believe that I keep what I share, every time I encourage, I receive courage. It is with others that, with the grace of God and the fellowship of AA, I trudge that road of happy destiny. May I always remember that the power within me is far greater than the fear before me. May I always have patience, for I am on that right road.
Daily Refractions. Always hits home. Always hits home. You know what I mean? It's what it's all about. That's a pretty sweet. Yeah, okay. So let's see here. We were going to talk. Tyson wanted to talk about early in recovery, even like people that are probably not sitting in the rehabs anymore. But when we're in rehab, like is there any like habits? How do we develop new habits? We have all these terrible old habits that we now have to, in recovery, stop doing. We need to figure out new ways to live, right? I could have benefited from direct talk about how to do that very specific thing, because that's really step 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5. Like when you get out of rehab, what do I do in the morning instead of snorting a line of Oxycontin? Well, should I read the Bible, or should I make coffee or make my bed? What should I do? and like I had to find that stuff out through trial and error. And it took me 6 years.
Mhm.
You know, but like, where do you start? Kaisa, I know you have thoughts on it. Hit me with it.
Okay, so when I went to rehab, they strongly suggested AA, and they provided AA literature. So we were suggested to read Upon Awakening every morning. So you get into a routine of reading the same passage every day. Um, you know, we didn't have our cell phones. They took our cell phones away, which was actually a very good thing.
Well, yeah.
And, you know, we had assignments we had to do. You know, we had to eat at a certain time. We had to make our beds. We did our laundry on a certain day, and we get into this routine. Um, and you know, so you're there for 4 weeks, and you do that every day. And I know that I needed that because I used to read all the time, and then all of a sudden one day I never read again until I, you know, got into rehab. And
Mhm.
I I was told, you know, here you have 30 days to take care of you, to do you. So, you know, my mindset, I was like, I was going to do whatever it took. And you know, and that meant, you know, keeping my mouth shut, not getting into arguments, not acting the way I used to act, um, listening to what they told me to do and doing it, you know, no matter how it felt. If I didn't like it, I did it anyway, you know. Um, and I read and I did my assignments, and you know, when my visitors came on, you know, Sunday or whatever, you know, we had our couple hours together, and that was great. I did everything they told me to do, um, because it was necessary
Yeah.
for me to kind of rewire my brain. So that's what I did, and I have all these little books. I have a whole bunch more,
She's got it
and
all.
yeah. So there's plenty of stuff to read. They got daily passages, just like the daily refractions that Jim reads,
Yep.
and it really does help because I find it. It doesn't matter what it is; it speaks to me. Every single one of them speak to me.
Right, and you're
So
doing it now through habit. It's habitual,
yeah,
and you get out of it what you're looking for.
right.
I know for me, like I went to that kind of rehab 4 or 5 times, and in my I didn't have the willingness you did.
Mhm.
You know, I was just like, what should I do? Do this, do that, read the Bible, do AA, do that. Well, I didn't know what the hell was going on. But like as for me, what's worked for me is like I do the readings. I what we read, I read every day. And I read the Bible. I read Proverbs. There's 31 books in Proverbs, so whatever day of the month it is, I read that Proverbs second today, and it's just wisdom. You know what I mean? It's just stuff in my head that's not my stuff that I came up with. It's just stuff that's alters my thinking, and you know, so that's a big thing. So like, all right, early on in recovery, you got to start doing different things. Um, yeah, start reading different things. Oh, get out of bed and make it. I get out of bed, and
Hmm.
I'm half awake. I'm making the goddamn thing, right? By the time I walk out of my room to get coffee, everything's perfect in here.
Hmm.
I have this routine, um, but it didn't just come. It doesn't sound like a big deal, but like to addicts who like woke up, where's my drug? Where's my drink? You know, like to change into to pump the brakes and be like, okay, this is life. I have to do this and this and the slowing down is what scared me. You know, I was used to everything going so fast, and but yeah. So I do a couple of readings. My mental health is important. I'm nuts, right? So like I figured that out. It took a while to figure that one out, and you know, so I take care of my physical health, my mental health,
Hmm.
my spiritual health. And those are the three things. If you can get your mind around it, and there's no cookie cutter perfect way to do it, right, guys? Like it
Mm-mm.
just it's whatever works for you, right? And it worked for me. Maybe some of that works for you. Maybe some of it doesn't. Maybe you add something else. You know, but like Nick, I'm interested to hear like what your routine is, like especially early on, and then like now 6, 7 years sober.
8 years, but it's
Yeah.
okay. You,
I'm
no,
done.
but like honestly, I'm glad that we're talking about topics because honestly, like the most important part of recovery is the initial,
Yep.
you know, right when you get in. Like I was a firm believer of, people in the treatment centers, especially like a lot of them are being told what to do,
Yeah.
right? hey, wake up, or, listen, there's going to be some that are motivated, right, to go start the readings and do it. Like, Tim, you'll have your little morning groups that people run by themselves. And then you got the ones that are like willing, but partially willing to do, certain things. But once the treatment's over, then what? What do you do when you're in an Oxford house?
Yeah.
Right now, I don't have somebody telling me what to do. Now it's on my own accord, right?
Scary
So
thing.
I wasn't inpatient this time around, right? So when I got clean this time around, I would do everything they told me to do. So I had to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I always had something to say about anything. So I was told to take the cotton out of my ears and put it in my mouth, right? So listen to what's being said to you. If you're used to talking, shut up. Just listen. So 90 meetings in 90 days. It's there to build a routine for you to get used to things, right? So I got my phone back, right? And I would have like a motivational thing sent to me every morning at 8 o'clock. So I would wake up to something motivational. And even though it took me a minute to find my higher power and do what needed to be done, I would get down and pray. Whether it worked, whether it didn't, I did it. And then I would go to a 12 o'clock AA meeting. And then at nighttime, I would go to an NA meeting. But I filled my days based on recovery-based things, And yeah, I don't want to do it all the time. Like, I didn't go to the NA barbecues to go, be all NA and stuff. I went for the free food. Like, let's keep it under. Like, they give you free food. But listen, you end up enjoying what you're doing, and then once you're more comfortable with your stuff, within the 90 days, you hit a meeting every day, you have a sponsor, you have a home group, you have a network, you start doing step work. And then once you start engulfing in your feelings and emotions and getting in tune with yourself, it's not going to happen within that 90, but it's the start of the routine and able to get you to keep going. So you don't need to rely on anybody else. You're able to do it on your own.
Good point. It's hard, but now you have to do it. Now you have to get the NA app, the AA app, go find your meetings, take yourself there. Now you're responsible for your own recovery. Whereas in inpatient treatment, you can kind of take your hands off the wheel, and other people are responsible for your recovery. Your therapist is literally responsible for your recovery.
Yeah.
So whether you're half checked in, half checked out, you're just like, whatever, yeah, okay. Now you're out. If you don't do the right things in that inpatient treatment, I'll tell you right now, you're going to walk out. You're going to find yourself in an Oxford house, and you're going to be like, this place smells funny. I don't like anything that's happening. And like, but I'll give you a week. You know what I mean? But then there's people, that was me a few times. But then there was times, I see other people do it. I try and emulate it. All right, what I'm doing is not working. What are you doing? Right? So like, that's a big thing. Like, we're here. Like, if you just open your eyes and shut your ears a little bit and look around, there are people trying, like Nick was, like Heisa was. Just look around. You'll find these people. Ask them to help you. They may have 5 more days sober than you, but they're doing stuff that's going to get them to 6 months, to a year or 2 years. Recovery.
You know what it is though? When we worked at that spot together, right? You could line up every single person there.
Yeah.
And they could tell you they know what they need to change.
Yep.
Right? They know, I got to get off Facebook. I got to get off social media. I got to get away from my freaking wife. I got to get out of this job. Okay, you know what to do, but are you actually going to do it?
Right.
Are you going to take the necessary steps to do what needs to be done? Because if everybody knew what to do, there would be no rehabs. There'd be no treatments. We wouldn't have a fucking podcast.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But it's just, everybody needs to know what they need to do and just go do it.
Do it. You got to do it. Everybody knows what they got to do. You got to wake up, you gotta pay your bills, all this stuff. But like, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do it. You can neglect the shit, and it's going to pile up and bury you. Or you finally start doing what you have to do, and what you have to do is probably not what you like to do.
You have to get uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean,
and walk through it. Do
But
it.
you have to experience it, right, guys? Like it's not something that you can be told. You have to be like, all right, I'll do this. I hate it, and then you do it. And you're like, oh shit, I didn't really hate it. Like I got this out of it and that out of it, and then you start going through these things, and you realize that, oh shit, stuff's not that bad. Maybe.
Open-mindedness.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And Nick,
Hell yeah.
you said it all the time. Open mindedness and willingness, like that's if you don't have an open mind, you're closed mind, right? You closed
Yes.
mind,
And
nothing hits you.
you got to be teachable also, you know?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Bill, you said it right. And this is all ego. This is all our addict ego centric. Like we run everything, and it's you watch. We're talking about overdose and death and stuff tonight. Unfortunately, it happens, and uh, so all right, Frank Kenny. So say Frank Kenny, he thought he could just do one more, right? He wasn't planning on destroying shit. He was just, I was gonna think he was gonna try and do one more. He snorted a quarter of a bag, right? The dude, listen. So like, he had it together. He was doing it right. You know what I mean? And he just thought, yeah, just one more, chill me out, enjoy it, won't do it again. And we're not getting those chances anymore. So like, if you like the urgency is there, and I know all of us feel it. Like there is such an urgency to get this message across, because if we're not, like it may be the last chance you have on somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's getting scary out there.
Yeah. I mean, everything's different, man. I mean, listen, I've been clean for 8 years, and people tell me like certain drugs they're on. I don't even know. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, everything's crazy. Weed doesn't cost the same as it used to be from my, people I know through the sports world that are smoking. And I'm just like, dude, it's that cheap now. Fuck. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
Like, oh, you're doing this. Like, I didn't even know that's a thing. Like, dude, everything's fucking nuts.
I have no desire
know?
to smoke weed, but I did it for 20 years, and it was illegal.
No.
I did it, and I went out every day to get it for me and my wife, and I'm dodging cops and smelling like skunk, and like now you just go into the store and buy it. Like it's like,
Yeah. What the hell happened?
I don't know, Nick. Like I just left New Jersey when they made it legal and they opened a dispensary. So I went and I bought a vape thing just to try it out before I get the hell kicked out of New Jersey. And I'm like, this is crazy. I just spent $30 on like, and what I like about the dispensaries is what you're getting every week. Like that's the kind. It's controlled. Me, I was getting like one week I'm nodding out from my pot. The next week I'm itchy and I think I can see somebody over here. So like every week I'm getting something different. I mean, god damn, I miss the curve, man. I grew up in ecstasy, fucking Oxycontin world. Man, if I grew up now, I'd be chill. I wouldn't be an addict. I'd be fine.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Don't start that, Bill, Tim.
Right? I know. It's poor me. Look at me. Hey Simon,
No,
what's up, buddy?
What ifs?
I know, but like it just I honestly look back now and I'm like, I like myself. Like I went through some shit like in certain times of the world. And me and Will, exact age, almost the same story early on. This ecstasy shit, like just like it was bad in the late 90s, and there was no accountability. Everybody was, I was getting, said the last show I was getting Oxycontin. I was writing on my own prescriptions. They started to look bad. The worse I got, the margins are off, and I'm still handing them in, and they're still handing me oxys, and I'm like, oh, what the hell's going on? Next thing I know, I'm in Maine. So like, it's a different world now. So yeah, you can get weed and you can chill out and do your thing and address your what's the other shit? Ketamine, like that's a whole thing now.
Boy.
Like it's nuts. Like I could go on Facebook, spend $400 and have ketamine. I could have Viagra. I could have Xanax. I could just spend, as long as I got the money, they'll send it to you. You know what I mean? And it's unbelievable. You look at this stuff and like, man, if I grew up today, I would just be smoking weed and being like, that stuff's nuts. Like, I'm good on that. Oh, fentanyl kills you? No, thank you.
You're so full of shit, Tim. You're so
right?
full of shit.
I know.
Yeah. If I grew up today, I'd probably be in the same exact spot.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, I'd be like,
if not worse.
do you have the good fentanyl? Because I heard his fentanyl isn't great. I'm going to try yours. So, like, that's how it is. Yeah, yeah, coulda, woulda, shoulda. You know what I mean? So like,
You know what's crazy though, Tim? Like now, I don't know what it is. I keep looking at this fucking slogan, new habits in early recovery. And honestly, the best times I had in recovery was in early recovery.
yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
no
Like
shit.
it was great times. Obviously, it's a roller coaster. And like, I lived in my Oxford house with, a bunch of the boys. When you think about it, we
Yeah.
all took it, well, most of us took it serious. We went to meetings. We lived by the beach in Atlantic City. We
Mm.
had the girls lived down the street, so we were always checking out the girls' Oxford house.
Oh
And then
yeah.
we're going to meetings, we're going to
Mm.
IOP together. Like it was a good time. I almost tried to get them to make like an Oxford house for people who had like years clean.
Yeah,
Because it
exactly.
was I had a great time.
And you're right. It is a great time. There's two roads there. There's too much of a great time over here with the girls, or there's too much. But like you're
Yeah.
right. There is a moderate. If you just pick and choose, it's there to. It's fun. It is. Meetings are fun. Meeting people's fun. You start doing the stupid shit, going to the Cape May Zoo or whatever, and it's like fun stuff. Like because you're living with people that are living now too, and you're all just like,
Yeah.
you smell that? Yeah, it smells like barbecue. I like the way that smells. So do I. Look at that. We're sober.
Well, when you're with like-minded people,
Yeah.
Mhm.
it's a good time.
Yeah. Yep.
Like when I was getting high, dude, like I didn't trust anybody. Why? Because I was hanging out with people that were just like me. And like, we're getting high, having a good time, but meanwhile, we're in our head like I need him to go to the bathroom so I could go in his wallet,
Yeah. Yep.
or
Mhm.
and like all my issues were like self-created issues, whether it's
Yeah.
with men, whether it's with women, family. It was a lot of self-created shit,
Yeah.
you know?
Yep. It's funny,
Pretty
and we
fucking.
blame it. We blame everything else, everybody else's fault. It's not our. You know what I mean? Until
Yeah,
you
it wasn't
start.
me.
Yeah, not my fault.
I just called a bad break.
Yeah. Yeah. Simon says, "I rob you, you rob me." It's like for me until I started taking accountability for my actions and, like you said, shutting your mouth and opening your ears a little bit. You can see that it's there for you if you want it. And then there's those fucking idiots, like the rehab idiots that just in and out and playing with this and that, and they're dead. And that I've seen it. I don't know, way too many times. And and that's if they're lucky. You know what I mean? If no, not if they're lucky. No, they're lucky if they make it back to rehab. They end up dead because their guards down. They think they're invincible. Especially you go to rehab, you think you're invincible. You think like, oh, I didn't die, he died. I don't know. So like it's a tough game to play. But you're right, Nick. It can be fun early on. You know what I mean?
People get
So
addicted to going to rehab,
you're looking at one.
yeah.
I mean,
Know that
I've had my fill, but go ahead, Kaisa.
when I was in rehab, we had to do 2 classes to get a 4-hour pass. 2 weeks in, and we had to go around the room, and everybody had to say how many times they'd been to rehab. Well, I mean, I was
Oh
freaking
Lord.
out because I hear people saying 14 times, 5, 8, whatever, and I say one, and the guy that was
Everybody
leading
looks at you.
the group, he's like, how dare you say something like that? And I'm like, what? I mean, he got pissed at me and like started to, he didn't cuss at me, but he just may well have.
Yep.
And he's like, look at all these people in here, and all the time they keep coming back and da 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 da. And I just said, you know what? Just don't underestimate me. That's all I
Yeah.
got to say, dude. And I never spoke to him again because I was like, how dare him talk
Yeah.
to me like that? Because you don't know me.
Chuck doesn't like the rehab idiots thing. I
Fuck
was
that.
one of them.
Sorry,
I
Chuck.
was I was one of them, so I can say, right, exactly. You get into this world that's like foreign to you. Like for me, when I got into rehab world and all that stuff, I was like, this is awesome. Like there's girls, there's cheesesteaks. I'm on a comfortable bed. There's a TV on the wall. This is like the greatest thing ever. I was delivering
But
packages yesterday, so like,
every rehab is so different, though.
well, that's the
Dude,
thing. Like,
I went to an old monastery, you know what I mean, on the top of a hill. And it was like dead winter. And then the rehab that we worked at, you would have thought you were at a 5-star fucking resort, dude.
yeah, yep, exactly.
It's insane.
It's insane. Yep. I went to everybody knows I went to Maine, my first rehab at 19 years old. It was no rehab. It was a work camp for people that families and the world didn't want them anymore. And I detoxed digging a hole for 2 weeks. So that was cool.
You know what,
what
Tim?
I mean?
Go in the Maine is why you saved the Jewish people in Lakewood because of me.
You're probably right. You're probably right.
Yeah.
Can't help it. Listen, not all heroes wear capes, everybody. So I don't know. We're I went a little over because we got a lot of people watching now, and the first start of the show was a disaster. Let's do the clean time. We got to do that. Kaisa will take over, and we'll give her a little room to breathe while she does the clean time. Yay! Well, it's that time. It is clean time. What is clean time, you ask? Well, glad you asked, because I'm going to tell you. Clean time is the amount of days or years that you've been clean and sober. We're a family here on T-Dubs, so let's get into our clean time segment.
Mitch Callum, sorry, 38 days. Ella Shaper, 44 days. Matthew D, 45 days. Go, Matthew. And LaRonda Shirley, 61 days. Courtney T. Johnson, 69 days. Go, Courtney. Seymour Butts, 70 days. Misty Hayes, 80 days.
Good job,
Misty Hayes.
Deborah H., I can't see, 86 days.
86.
Daisy McLean, 102 days. Jeanette Ara, 103 days. James Cobb, 116 days. Dustin Wells, 123 days. Tara Dixon, she's got 126 days. Clean time. Timothy F, 126 days. Go Tim. Jason D, 148 days. Bridget Shiaz, 150 days. EW, 154 days.
T-Dubs.
Haley McDermott, 163 days. Go Haley. Skylar S, 164 days. David McDowell, 184. Valencia K, 189 days.
They're quick. These are quick.
Vanessa M, 209 days.
Sorry, all of them.
Monty, 218 days. Alex Tree, 220 days.
Hi, Alex.
Jesse J, 222 days. Daniel G, 227 days. Michaela Booker, 249 days.
Good job.
David D, 259 days. AJ Hamilton, 262 days. Steve W. Croyke, 279 days. Tony J, 284 days.
Wow, these are quick.
Maria Escalada, 292 days.
300.
Jen Magner, 300 days. Go, Matt. Jen. Jared Black, 305 days.
Oh.
Mandy G, Kissy, 351 days.
Lauren.
Go, girl. Jamie Michelle, 358 days. Deshaun Booker, 373 days. Desiree Murphy, Hong Kong, 393 days. Ricky McGregor! Cassie Spencer, 407 days. AM, 438 days. Greg Lippa, 464 days.
Good job, buddy.
Ronnie J, our friend, 477 days. Colby J, 478 days.
Good job, baby.
Will.
Will, 500 Woo! Timmy, 606 days. Jimmy Leibel, 3 years. Amelia Quattro, 3 years.
Good job.
April Pritchard, 3 years. Go, April. Go, April. Jeffrey S., 3 years. Go, Jeffrey. Go, Jeffrey. Tyler Brandon, 4 years. Stella Montez, 4 years.
Good job.
Manny, he's got 8 years.
Oh, he doesn't.
Oh, there's Kaisa. Keisha, what the hell? Simon Frost, 6 years. Tina C, 8 years. Go, Tina, that's our girl. That's our Nick, 8 years. You go, Nick.
Oh shit.
Neil K, 13 years.
Good job, buddy.
Ryan K, 26 blessed years.
Most important person in the room.
That'd be the newcomer, Ricky DeMarco, 9 days. Anthony Seals, 15 days.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Michelle D, 20 days. You go, girl.
Girl,
Alex M, 29 days.
back on the horse. So this is where Jim should be saying, hey, if you want to be on screen time,
Hey,
Would you say a lot?
great job. If you want to be on screen time, email me.
nobody can hear you.
Yeah, right?
Anyway,
Yeah, just send me a freaking email. I'll put you on. Hit us up on those socials: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Carrier pigeon. Come on, get on down that car wash.
all right, forget it.
I can't.
Oh my God, this guy.
That's crazy.
The air thin up in his fucking
So
vagina.
email is Jim at dash
All right.
cast dot.
Well, that all checks out. Went exactly
your
how it
cards
should
and
have for
letters.
tonight. Oh my God.
Okay,
Just
I did
as
a
we
quick
scripted.
tabulation here, kids. That's
Unbelievable.
Jim's filling the shoes.
125.7 years of sobriety in our
Say it
clean
again.
125.72 years of sobriety in clean time tonight.
Hell
A
yeah.
lot.
There you
Yeah.
go, kids.
We
It
usually
can be
have
done one day at a time. So keep coming back, kids.
10. So with Nick, we're pushing 2 decades here.
Oh
Yeah.
no, I put him in there. I
Oh,
put
him?
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I'm talking about our panel, our team. We
Oh,
we
I
have
know,
about
I
it.
know. But
Yeah, about a decade.
Nikki's in there.
Yeah, that's a
I put-
lot
I-
of-
You think I want to mess with that mofo? No
No,
way.
he'll kill you. He
He'll
will
come
No,
out
kill
of
you.
that
no,
monitor
no,
and
no,
kick my ass.
So this is fun. I prepped for this whole episode so
Yeah,
much,
good
and
job.
it just fell apart. Oh yeah, Jim. Okay. So I'm not really mad at you, Jim, for destroying the entire show.
Oh, really?
No.
So it was so funny. I couldn't figure out the audio. I'm checking I'm trying on my headsets from my Xbox. I'm like doing everything except for muting Jim. I should have known. All right, so let's readjust for today. Get the hell out of here. Oh, did I say the guests that are coming up? Or
Yes,
No,
you
go
did.
ahead. Do it again.
Do it again.
I don't think I did it yet.
Yeah, you did.
You did it beforehand, I thought.
Oh, you did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought
you
I
did it
thought I
beforehand.
did it beforehand. Okay.
Whatever. Do it again.
All right.
Do it again.
Next week is Richie Valenti. He's an animal. He's a good time. March 9th. That's next Sunday. 2 Sundays from now is Manny Vitale.
5 years.
Yep. Or what's his name? His thing. Or
My fight,
Our War.
our war.
Manny Vitale. Lauren Emmett. Sweet girl.
She's a sweetheart. She really is. I love her to death.
Adorable.
Warrior.
Absolutely adorable. And Isabella Jennings, new friend, is going to be on the show, sharing her experience, strength, and hope. This is part of the time where we read just for today. And Will Douglas does that for us. So, Will, would you like to
I got
read
you.
just for today?
Sure. Success. Any form of success was frightening and unfamiliar. Before coming to recovery, few of us had much experience with success. Every attempt to stop using in our own hand ended in failure. We had begun to give up hope or finding any relief from active addiction. We had grown accustomed to failure, thinking it was just part.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Checks out.
Next page.
Right.
When we stay clean, we begin to experience success in our lives. We begin to take pride in our accomplishments. We start to take healthy risks. We may take some knocks in the process. But even these can be counted as successes if we learn from them. Sometimes when we fulfill a goal, we hesitate to pat ourselves on the back for fear. Next, that we will seem arrogant. But our higher power wants us to succeed. It wants us to share with our loved ones the pride we take in our accomplishments. When we share our success with others in NA, they often begin to believe that they can achieve their goals as well. When we succeed, we help lay the groundwork for others. Any form of success was frightening and unfamiliar. Who follow in our path. Just
What
for
are you
today,
reading?
I don't know. I will take time to savor my success. I will share my victories in attitude or gratitude.
Well, that checks out. Went perfect. Listen, I love you guys. You guys are just we went long just because the show's a disaster and I'm gonna have to cut it up and do all that. But
You got to cut it.
5
It was-
people donating an hour
It
and a
was
half.
a miracle.
It was a miracle. You got 5 people donating an hour and a half of their time to see how tired Nicky is. Look how
Look
tired.
at him.
Aw, oh, Nicky's sneaky.
Yeah.
We did what we could. We got a good amount of people watching. So so that's really it. One thing, my brother-in-law is an insane person. Just stay away from him if you see him come up on your screen.
He's a bad guy.
Assholer. Let's see what else. I think that's it. So we're gonna clear this out with a little fun thing, a little something maybe can Manny Vitale says, "Hey there, everyone. Love you guys, and Nick, thanks for being on the show. Thanks, Nanny. We love you too."
Thanks,
So
buddy.
we're gonna end it with a little bit something different for episode 88. The guy that played Tannen, right, from the movie, he did something later on in life where he sang a parody song. So that's gonna end us out here as a little laughter, a little levity to end the episode. Thanks everybody, and we'll see you on Wednesday.
Keep coming back, team.
When I'm flying in a plane or I'm on the street, there's a lot of famous people that I like to meet. They shake my hand and never ask my name, and they start asking questions that are always the same. Hey, what's Michael J. Fox like? He's nice. What's Michael J. Fox like? Nice guy. What's Michael J. Fox like? He's an alien. Stop asking me the question. Hey, was that real manure? No, it wasn't. Was that real manure? No. Was that real manure? It's a movie. Stop asking me the question. Can we take your picture? Come on, look mean. Would you call my friend a butthead on his answering machine? Hey, questions just fill my head. I went to my doctor said, hey, what does a key grip do? Set up lights. What does the best boy do? Help the key grip. What does a producer do? I don't know. Stop asking me the question. Do you all hang out together? No, we don't. How's Crispin Glover? Never talk to him. Back to the Future 4. Not happening. Stop asking me the question. Hey, who's the nicest famous guy you know? Adam Sandler. Who is the biggest jerk? Gary Busey. How much money do you make? More than you do. So stop asking me the question. Thanks a lot, everybody.